Everywhere Donald Trump looks, people are turning on him. And it is not just his MAGA base or the civil war happening within his White House. The latest domino to fall is MAGA Mike Johnson. Because after the first vote of many in the House on releasing the Epstein files, which Republicans, of course, blocked, Mike Johnson stunned Donald Trump with a new admission that is stabbing him in the back. We are going to get into it all and what it means for Donald Trump and his panic. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we can get into what Mike Johnson said, completely shocking Donald Trump, we have to start with a different member of the House, Eric Swalwell, asking all the questions that we need of Republicans right now.
I want to tell you something that just happened on the House floor. Republicans are voting against releasing the Epstein files. And you're probably asking, well, how is that the case? Here's what happened. Last night at the Rules Committee, we voted on, or the Rules Committee voted on, what would be in the debate rules for the week. Democrats offered an amendment to release the Epstein files, a part of the legislation that we're voting on this week. Republicans voted against it. So now, to pass their rules package, which would control what bills we pass this week, they have to again vote against the Democrats and what we are suggesting, which is any bill this week should include releasing the Epstein files. So that's on the full floor right now. I just voted. Republicans across the board are voting against releasing the Epstein files. And the question I have is, why? I know why Donald Trump would not want these out there. Elon Musk told us already. I know why Kash Patel and Dan Bongino don't want it out there. They're just going to follow Donald Trump. But House Republicans have the subpoena power. And if they're not willing to use it, Democrats have a lot we can do. Votes like this, but also stay tuned, because I know there's a deep and wide interest in rooting out corruption at all levels. And if Donald Trump and Pam Bondi promised there are files, either they are world-class bullshitters or they are burying files. And we need to know why and who to hold accountable that's helping them bury them. So Democrats have a lot we can do, and obviously in a majority with subpoena power, everything changes.
Of course, we have always seen Republicans fall in line with Donald Trump when it comes to screwing their constituents. But something different is happening right now. It may be that Republicans are trying to protect themselves. There may be some members of Congress in the Republican caucus who are also implicated in those Epstein files. It might also be the case that some of their donors are, some of their friends are, and they are looking out to try to protect them. Because otherwise, why would they be in such opposition? We know Donald Trump, according to Elon Musk, is in these files, but is somebody else? I don't know. But I'm clearly not the only one with that question, or clearly the only Republican. Tim Burchett was saying it right here.
Should there be an investigation or a special counsel investigation?
I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I just find them guilty and hang them publicly. I mean, that's not over the top either. I'm ready. I'm over it. It disgusts me. I'm big on clarity and transparency, and you know, that's good reason people don't trust government, either party.
But you don't believe what the Justice Department is saying?
I don't know. No, I don't. I don't trust them.
I am glad that we are seeing at least some bit of intellectual consistency from MAGA, because for so long, all we have ever heard is that every government institution is broken and corrupt. But now that Donald Trump's in power, we should trust the government, as Charlie Kirk says? No. If Donald Trump is accusing Joe Biden and Barack Obama of putting these Epstein files together, then doesn't that mean it was under the same DOJ Trump claimed was weaponized against him? Wouldn't you then want all the evidence? Wouldn't you want to be able to dispute those claims? Of course you would. Of course we would want all of this out in the public, which is the shocking claim that came from Mike Johnson right here in an interview that we're going to take a look at. Mike Johnson stabs Trump with shock Epstein files demand. House Speaker Mike Johnson publicly split with Donald Trump over Jeffrey Epstein Tuesday by calling for Attorney General Pam Bondi to release all records related to Epstein. Johnson said Tuesday that the Republican base being in an uproar over the Trump administration's handling of the matter shows the need for transparency. It's a very delicate subject, but we should put everything out there and let the people decide, he told serial plagiarist Benny Johnson on his podcast, as we can see right here.
That concerns either testifying or testimony for Ghislaine Maxwell, potentially before Congress, or if you would support members like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Anna Paulina Luna on the release of subpoenaing the Epstein documents from the DOJ, whether you would support either of those.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Marjorie or Anna about that specific subject, but I'm for transparency. We're intellectually consistent in this. Look, Reagan used to tell us we should trust the American people. I believe in that principle. I know President Trump does as well, and I trust him. I mean, he put together a team of his choosing, and they're doing a great job. It's a very delicate subject, but we should put everything out there and let the people decide it. I mean, the White House and the White House team are privy to facts that I don't know. I mean, this isn't my lane. I haven't been involved in that. But I agree with the sentiment that we need to put it out there. And you know, Pam Bondi, I don't know, when she originally made the statement, I think she was talking about documents, as I understood it, that were on her desk. I don't know that she was specific about a list or whatever, but she needs to come forward and explain that to everybody. I like Pam. I mean, I think she's done a good job. We need the DOJ focusing on the major priorities. So let's get this thing resolved so that they can deal with violent crime and public safety and election integrity and going after Act Blue and the things that the president is most concerned about, as we are. So I'm anxious to get this behind us.
So why this admission from Mike Johnson, this demand of putting everything out in the open, is so important is because the vote that we saw today in the House is not the only nor the last vote to come. And the way that it was structured by Representative Ro Khanna would have had every bit of the Epstein files released, including those that needed to be stricken or hidden to protect witnesses, to protect victims. There's not any blame to Congressman Khanna, but that was the structure of his resolution. There will be more votes coming forward in the future, as Swalwell detailed. Mike Johnson might be breaking with Donald Trump on one of those votes. Mike Johnson seems like he wants everything out in the public. And even if he's lying, which MAGA Mike wouldn't be the first time, him saying this at least puts a tremendous amount of pressure on Donald Trump. Trump was asked multiple times today about his daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, saying that the administration needs more transparency, claiming that there was more to come from the Epstein files. This is clearly a step above that and a huge problem for Donald Trump. But was not the only person creating problems for Donald Trump today. We saw him attack Jasmine Crockett, and of course she fired back in a takedown you just got to take a look at.
Does it look like you're fighting for life when you cut 17 million people off of their health care?
It does not.
Does it look like you're fighting for life when you're kicking people in this country? I want to be clear, we're talking about the United States, in this country, off of food assistance?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, this hearing supposedly is being about radical leftists and whatnot. So I do have some questions about that. But before I get there, I am tripping about how much we are loving on Viktor Orban here in the United States. Well, and I shouldn't say we, them, how much they are loving on Viktor Orban. I have an interesting article that I would like to enter into the record as a UC.
Without objection.
Okay, thank you. Hungary's Orban demonstrates
Thanks for the time.
how to dismantle democracy. Some of the interesting things that are said in here. Number one, Trump went further in 2 months than Orban could in 15 years. This year, faced with an increasingly unified opposition in parliament that is rallied behind a charismatic lawyer and politician, Orban's attacks on media, civil society, and freedom
Without
of assembly
objection.
have gained momentum. This is part of my words.
Okay.
Yeah, my time is still going. In addition to that, there is mention that Orban focused on ridding Hungary of any institution capable of checking his power. Sounds something like Donald Trump, does it not?
I wouldn't necessarily speculate on what the two presidents
Okay,
are doing.
don't speculate. I'm gonna tell you, it sounds like Donald Trump. Now, while we are talking about taxpayer dollars, let me tell you, and Donald Trump agreed with me at some point in time about this particular one. I have another UC. Elon Musk gets $8 million a day from taxpayers.
Without objection.
Thank you so much. Listen, if we want to start talking about who's donating to who and who's getting money, last time I checked, Elon Musk did close to $300 million to get him into office, and it seems like there was a direct payment right back to him. I get that it's not a not-for-profit, but at the same time, it is federal dollars. And you know what? Earlier, someone mentioned these hellholes, talking about the cities, right? Talking about cities being hellholes. I just want to point to Los Angeles. I'm sure that's one of the cities they were referring to when they said that. Los Angeles contributes almost $20 billion in taxes. You know what? That's more than all states in this country except for 4. So guess what? If we are going to push any ideologies, it seems like LA should have an outsized interest in the ideology, because it seems like they actually contribute more money than all these other states, especially these red states, to be clear. In fact, I have another UC.
Without objection.
All right, blue states are bailing out red states. I have another UC.
Without objection.
Massachusetts sends more funding to the feds than any other state. It seems like blue states are constantly putting red states on life support, yet we got these little red states that ain't contributing nothing, but they are definitely taking up a lot of money. It is interesting because the governor in California, I don't know if you caught this, but Governor Newsom was talking about just holding on to his dollars, because California is what they call a donor state, meaning that they actually contribute more than they take from the federal government. And then you can go down south to states like Louisiana, who are broke, and so they need California to pay in. So it is so interesting that we are so concerned about whether or not we are pushing certain ideologies. But let me talk about some of these. I've got a few questions. We're gonna play a game called Radical or Restorative. Radical or Restorative, a nonprofit that provides shelter and legal aid to human trafficking survivors.
Restorative.
A DOJ-funded program that mentors at-risk youth to prevent gang violence.
Restorative.
A grant-funded organization that helps women fleeing domestic abuse with housing and trauma support.
Restorative.
A USAID program that works to shut down scam compounds trafficking people in Southeast Asia.
Restorative.
A faith-based nonprofit helping migrant children reunite safely with family.
Restorative.
A community group receiving DOJ funds to reduce gun violence in cities.
Restorative.
And the final one is a global initiative that prevents trafficking and keeps people from being forced into labor or sold into exploitation.
Restorative.
Thank you so much.
Bring this energy all the time. And of course, we can expect it from Jasmine Crockett, but we do need it from more Democrats. Hypocrisy and betrayal are the key themes of what we have seen take place in Donald Trump's administration. Sprinkle some incompetence and corruption in there, and you get a big orange carrot cake of lies and deceit and destruction, and I don't know, it's been exhausting. But that's what we need to do. Some people are saying, maybe move on from the Epstein stuff. Maybe we've had enough, giving it too much attention. No. I know there are other things that we need to talk about, but talk about them through that lens, through the lens of the lies that Donald Trump has been willing to tell even his biggest supporters. We're going to be doing so on this show. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.